Midday, Kentucky, everyone. Well, just around the corner, as we know, is summer, and this is the time that kids and everyone is out and about, and injuries can happen. Yes. Dr. Perry Williams, everyone, chiropractic and sports performance over there at Winchester Chiropractic. And I wanted to talk to you a little bit about, there's a lot of conversation when it comes to concussions. Let's start off with, what is a concussion?
Sure. So a concussion is typically an instantaneous, although be it normally temporary, loss of cognitive awareness or brain function. So in the old days they would say, I got my bell rung. We stay away from that kind of terminology now, but it's just an instantaneous temporary loss of cognitive awareness or brain function.
Okay, well, just say you are out there playing sports and you don't have all the right equipment on.
Yeah.
And you do get hit in the head.
Yeah.
What are some signs for parents or teammates
who
see this happen? What are the signs that they need to look out for?
Well, typically what you'll see is an athlete sometimes will stumble or will look just dazed and confused. They often report that they're in a fog.
Well, or that me every day.
Right. And what'll happen is that they'll say they're in a fog, or they just don't respond, or in football scenarios they may go to the wrong huddle, or they display some signs and symptoms. The thing that's important, as you pointed out, which was brilliant by the way, is that it is important for other folks to observe that, because you can be technically out on your feet if you're a boxer and be completely unaware that you are concussed. So that's where it relies on parents, other teammates, and coaches and athletic trainers of the such to be aware of that.
Okay, well, some of the symptoms that we were just talking about, what do we do if we see one of our teammates have those symptoms? Do we lay them down? Do we get them in the car straight away? What do we do?
Well, as a general rule, you'll know if it gets bad in a hurry, but as a general rule, we would want to direct them to sideline personnel first. Yeah. And if there's no sideline personnel present and you believe that the athlete has been concussed, then it is best to activate emergency services and go on. Now, if the athlete stumbles and comes to and seems to be totally fine, we would still want that athlete to be checked and cleared by proper medical professionals. But as a general rule, we just want to get them to folks who see these on a regular basis.
Okay. Yep. Are there certain levels of concussion? So what I mean by that is different stages of concussion.
Yeah, correct. So they've gotten away from grading. In the old days, they used to say, I had this grade or that grade or this grade. They basically say you are concussed. The level and severity remains debated in the literature. The reason I wanted to come on and talk to the folks is the latest sort of think tank group that met in Berlin in 2016 came out with a consensus statement. It's the smartest, brightest minds in neuroscience, sport-related concussion, and they basically have said in this document that they put forward for practitioners like myself to come in contact with athletes. But basically what they say is that in the first 24 to 48 hours, the severity of the symptoms and the number of the symptoms seem to correlate with how severe it is. So if I feel bad on day one and on day two I'm like 80% better, that's going to be an easier recovery than if I increase or I start developing new signs or symptoms, as in dizziness or migraine headaches, if that makes any sense. So that's the best way to tell how bad it is how fast you recover in that first couple of days, how severe the symptoms are in the first day or two, and then if you progress or regress, as it were.
And so, talking on what you just said about the latest information, there are a lot of facts out there now. There's just been a conference about that with different types of services or practices that can work hand in hand.
Yes, and the document, this is the first that I'm aware of, and someone may correct me on this, but it's the first time that I'm aware of that they've termed it treatable, and so that there are things, and they're shying away from medications for this, because one of the things that we had problems with in the past was that a well-meaning parent or a well-meaning coach would give an athlete medication. Well, let's say texting or video gaming made them worse. So we're taking medication, then we're texting and video gaming, and essentially thinking we're better, but making it worse. So we feel better, so we do an activity that makes us worse, and we don't even know it. Then when we come off the medicine, we're worse for it. So they encourage now, and this document states that we would prefer non-pharmacological treatment if possible, and that's where your athletic trainer, working with your sports chiropractor, working with your primary care is a really great multi-team approach. That's the best practice.
Perry, I think it's amazing what chiropractic services can contribute to help you out. We've just talked about so many different things over the last few months, from, you know, back pain to migraines to now
vertigo and
vertigo.
concussion, sure.
It is amazing. You've had huge hits on your videos. I think we're up to over 50,000 with the videos that we've done. We appreciate you coming in. If you want to find out more information about Winchester Chiropractic, there's all the information up on your screen now. There's a great website. Give them a call. They're a great team over there. I've got to get back over there as well myself. It's been a few months. It's time for me to get back to it. Everyone, we'll be back after this short break.
Thanks.